Good afternoon and welcome to K24 NewsCut. My name is Samuel Njoroge and our sign language interpreter for this bulletin will be Clement Muli. Would like to start by taking you to the Safari Park Hotel where Cabinet Secretary Health, that is Cicely Kariuki, has been attending the East Africa Health Care Federation conference that has been ongoing for the better part of the day. So let's cross over there and listen into what she's saying.
Ourselves and look at big volume with profits in between there. And that is how the East African market becomes important. Because if you are able to then engage at the community level, in Kenya, in Rwanda, in Ethiopia, it means you are doing big volume and are able to still break even and make your profit. Mwaneki, you raise the issue of HPV vaccine. Allow me to take a step back and say the following. I have not seen one careless government that moves out to bring in or introduce a vaccine before due diligence and a lot of study and consultations have been held. HPV vaccine is not new in Kenya. As a matter of fact, it's been rolled out in other countries. There is a lot of research that has gone into this. We are partnering with WHO in introducing this vaccine. And I just want to call upon Kenyans, while we want to sensationalize every other aspect of healthcare, it is good to also give government a chance as a responsible institution created, like I said earlier on, to protect its people. Now, I have in the last few days received some complaints from some section of the public actors. The public actors had not even agreed within themselves that there was a problem. They have availed some basic literature to me, some of it not peer-reviewed. It is going through some validation so that I am in a position of further confidence to respond to those concerns which have been raised. They were raised by Kenyans, so it's worth a while for me to also be attentive to what it is they said. On to the matter of the readiness of the counties, and quoting Nairobi, I want to say that there are few imperatives for a successful UHC in Kenya, but also in any other country. On the top of the priority is political commitment that governments.
And of course, one of the critical issues that the Cabinet Secretary is addressing is the rollout of the HPV virus, which is expected to counter the spread of cervical cancer in the country. So definitely a newsworthy story, and we shall keep interacting with it right here at K24 TV. Still happening today, would like to take you to the Senate, where currently there is a press briefing on the ongoing negotiations of a division of revenue bill. So let's move there and listen in.
The county government's percentage increase would be a mere 0.79%. The impasse on the division of revenue bill 2019 has not happened in a lacuna. Article 218, subarticle 1, paragraph A of the Constitution provides that the division of revenue bill shall divide revenue raised by the national government among the national and county levels of government in accordance with the Constitution. Article 224 of the Constitution provides that, and I quote, on the basis of the division of revenue bill approved by Parliament under Article 218.
And remember, governors did say that counties could shut down on the 16th of this month. If at all, there will be no resolve that will be arrived at by the mediation team that is currently looking at the stalemate around the Division of Revenue Bill 2019-2020. Also happening today, a key story that on Mau evictions, and Dan Kaburu has been our man on the ground for the better part of this week. Of course, bringing us up to speed with developments from that area. Thank you so much for joining us, Dan Kaburu. What have you prepared for us as of now?
Thank you, Njoroge. I'm actually seated at the backyard of a small town called Tendwek here outside the Mau Forest, where people have been getting out of the forest. Now this place, we are having families who left the forest and are camping here. Some of them have been forced to ask for a place to shelter and sleep. And actually Marete is a small room where some of them are sleeping. A family of about 7 people is sleeping in this small room here. And like you can see the pictures on our screen. We have their clothing there and other stuff that they came here with, and they've been hosted here by a good Samaritan. In this town, I've seen an increase of people into this small town, whereby all the houses have been occupied. Many are not able to pay rent, but the landlords here and landladies here have given them a place to sleep and a place to at least have a meal. Now, I'm joined by one lady here who is preparing for lunch. You can see her children. They have not been able to go to school. Some of them are dressed in their school uniform, but they have not been able to attend school because they were studying in the schools inside the forest. Now she's joining us to give us a feel of how it is from when she left the forest and now. Karibu sana mami, na utuelezee mambo iko namna gani na unaitwa nani, alafu tuelezee kuhusu hali yako.
Sawa. Mimi naitwa Choice Tuimisi. Tunatoka huku kwa Mau. Sisi tuko na shida sana kwa sababu tunakaa tu bila, sisi hatuna kila kitu. Tunakaa tu kwa nje ya mama mwingine. Tuliingia boma ya mama mwingine, tunasaidia, alafu tunatengeneza machakula nje. Tunaenda kulala, kufinya tu kwa ndani. Sasa tunaomba serikali tusaidie kwa sababu sisi tuko na shida sana. Sasa mimi niko na watoto, tutapea nini? Sisi tuko kwa njiani. Serikali tunaomba sana kwa mnyenyekevu unisaidie sana.
Uko na watoto ngapi hapa na mzee wako wapi?
Mzee wako tunakaa tu, tunaangaliana tu kwa sababu hakuna kitu chochote. Majumba ilichomeka huku.
Uko na watoto ngapi?
Mimi niko na watoto 6. Shule hakuna, nini hakuna, chakula hakuna. Tunakaa tu.
Okay, so Njoroge, that is what is happening here to this family. I've actually been speaking to more families even from this point, and the next plot on my left hand is full of. Understand? I spoke to a landlord who has given out all his houses, 22 of them. He has given them out to some people who left the forest, and that is what is happening in this small town called Tendwek. And we are keeping an eye on the development of the whole issue of Mau evictions. And Njoroge, back to you.
So much, Dan Kaburu, for that update live from the Mau. When, of course, politics aside, policy aside, legislation aside, dignity of humanity, even as government conducts these evictions, remains to be a critical angle to that story. Elsewhere is that environmental conservation advocates in Nakuru County now want the government to expedite the removal of illegal settlements in the Mau forest to pave way for free and sustainable tree planting programs. The conservationists say tree replenishment initiatives in the ongoing short rains will help recover the depleted cover in areas under contention. Seedlings that have been certified by the Kenya Forest Service have been earmarked for planting on a 10-hectare area within the forest. In the same spirit, the government, through deliberate partnerships with the private sector, will rehabilitate some 17,000 hectares of the depleted forest as a way of encouraging regeneration of the water tower.
Naomba kwa upole muondoke Mau, sisi tulete miche, tuongee serikali kuje kwetu watuongele, tukuje tuende tupande huko. Alafu hao vijana wenye wanatoka huko pia tutawapa kazi.
Mau is the kidneys of this country, as is the Amazon forest is the kidneys of the world, comprising 20% and above.
Now, residents of California Estate in Kitui town woke up to a rude shock after the remains of a newborn baby boy with his umbilical cord still attached were found at a dump site. Here is Robbie Omondi with the details.
Residents of California Estate say they spotted the lifeless body of the newborn in the morning and suspected it was dumped there at night and immediately notified the police. However, the residents accused the police of laxity as it took them over 6 hours to show up and collect the body.
This is a human being. Hata kama amekufa. Tumepiga simu kila mahali. Hakuna mtu anaweza okota. Are we human beings?
The locals have condemned the act and called for investigations to bring the culprit to book.
Wanawake jameni, kuna kinga, kuna everything. Why carry a kid for 7 months na unatupa? Why?
7 months.
7 months. Almost 6. Akona kucha, everything. It's terrible.
Hizi vitendo wanatenda hizi vitendo mbaya. Sababu kuna mtu anatafuta mtoto lakini wanazaa watoto wanakuja kutupa kwa takataka hapa. Si vizuri.
The mother could not be identified immediately as no documents or notes were left behind. Police have since taken the body to Kitui Level 5 Hospital mortuary as investigations commence. Robbie Omondi, K24 NewsCut.
Now, the tax evasion case involving businessman Humphrey Kariuki returned to court this morning. Let's get to hear more of what happened in court.
You can't air your... Yes, Mr. Munga.
Your Honor, we are hearing dates on those matters.
The states to file an inventory.
Thank you, Your
We're
Honor.
much obliged.
It's a huge sum of money for what I've had so far. Can you place it aside too?
And from Kisumu County, hundreds of students have shown up for admission to the Kisumu Polytechnic, and we're now joined by our reporter Baraka Karama, who's been following up on this particular story for an update in as far as this particular process is concerned. Thank you for joining us, Baraka. What do you have for us from your end?
Samuel, like you rightly mentioned, over 2,000 students drawn from various counties are today expected to register here at the Kisumu National Polytechnic. Remember, the government has been passionate about the vocational training, and of course we've seen hundreds of students here coming here for admission, drawn from various counties. Just allow me to engage the deputy principal for this particular institution, maybe just to give us a brief on what we expect here and maybe the progress so far. Of course, introduce yourself, and of course we'd like to know, we've seen thousands of students coming here. It's the second day, drawn from various counties. Maybe you can just give us a brief about this particular process.
Thank you very much. My name is Wilfred Owala, Deputy Principal Administration, the Kisumu National Polytechnic. This is our day 2 of admission for the September intake. Another intake is expected in January. We have already admitted so far about 1,500 students. We are still expecting to admit another about 1,000 students plus. As you can see from what we have here, the admissions process is still ongoing and there are still very many students who are coming in. What possibly has given us such large numbers, I want to appreciate the government has offered a sponsorship, because now the government is paying for every student 30,000 shillings. Our fee is 56,420. That is the fee for all TVET students, out of which the government is paying 30,000 shillings.
Okay, how much allocation has the government allocated for this particular program, especially here at the Polytechnic?
All students are being, the government is paying 30,000 shillings for every student. So the student is only required to pay 26,420. But of course we have bursaries, we have help that is given to the students. So technically a student who takes help loans or even bursaries can even learn for free. And this is what has caused such large numbers to flow the institution. So we are expecting that from next week, when we have the other normal students, regular students coming in, we may have a total of 10,000 plus students within the campus at the moment. But we appreciate the government does support us.
Okay, like the huge influx of the students who are coming in for admission versus the tutors. Do you think there's that shortage of the tutors in various technical training colleges?
Yes, there is a shortage of trainers, as we nowadays call them, I think in all TVET institutions. But the government is really trying to bridge that gap. The first batch of about 1,000 trainers has currently been employed. They are currently reporting to work this term. We are already conducting, as from Monday, we are conducting interviews again for another batch of trainers to be deployed to the institutions, and this will be an ongoing process. So we hope that gap is going to be matched in the near future. Yeah.
Like in Kisumu Polytechnic, for example, the shortage of the trainers.
We have almost over 400, a shortage of over 400 trainers. So we really need a large number of trainers, because as you can see, for 10,000 students, we really need a large number of trainers. So the Council of the Kisumu National Polytechnic is also now compelled to employ trainers on the payroll of the council. So we're talking about a staff strength of about 300 trainers, some of whom are employed by the Council of the Kisumu National.
Do you think that the shortage of the trainers is likely to affect the quality of training in all the technical institutions?
I would not say so, because like for us in the Kisumu National Polytechnic, we are ISO certified, so we have systems in place. Yes, we have challenges. We have challenges in terms of rooms. That is a real challenge in terms of facilities. But because of the quality of training, because of the systems in place, we should not be quite adversely affected by the large numbers.
Well, that was Mr. Wala, the Deputy Principal in charge of administration here at the Kisumu National Polytechnic, of course, giving us his brief about the latest development here. Like he mentioned, there's that shortage of trainers versus the high number of students who register for the technical training colleges within the country. So, like he mentioned, is just making that passionate appeal to the Ministry of Education to ensure that they add the number of trainers in various training institutions countrywide, just to try and improve on the quality of training for the vocational training colleges all over the country. Back to you, Samuel.
Thank you so much, Baraka Karama, for that update live from Kisumu County. Remember, the intake technical and vocational training institutes have been recording a higher intake in terms of enrollments. And just to run another developing story right about now is that Senate appears to have given in as far as the Division of Revenue Allocation Bill 2019-2020 is concerned, because they seem now to agree with the National Assembly that 316 billion becomes the figure that will be channeled to the counties. And just to take brief statements that were made by the leader of majority in the Senate, that is Kipchumba Murkomen, he says that the Senate, following a meeting today, has made the painful decision, and so counties take 316 billion. He goes ahead and says it is not enough, but at least it will be something that counties can work with. He goes ahead and states that the Senate advises the senators in the mediation team to urgently meet their counterparts from the National Assembly and agree on this matter. The Senate also notes that even though they've conceded to 316 billion, the Senate shall now in the next year ensure that appropriation bill will wait for the Division of Revenue Allocation Bill. Of course, these are some of the procedures that are followed before actually this kind of a situation is resolved. So we'll see how this situation pans on moving forward. So that is the developing story right about now. And of course, it's 316 billion to the counties as of now, and the figure precisely is 316.5 billion Kenya shillings. Now, moving on to other stories is that Caggiano County Assembly Speaker Johnson Osoi is a man under siege. This is after 26 MCAs allied to Governor Joseph Olelenku filed an impeachment motion on alleged grounds of integrity and corruption.
The 26 Caggiano MCAs from both Jubilee and opposition NASA ganged up and signed the impeachment motion, which was in turn delivered to the Assembly clerk by Majority Leader Julius Moipoi. Moipoi, a staunch supporter of the governor, said the MCAs had agreed to start the process of impeaching Osoi following a series of allegations that bordered on integrity and corruption.
As Caggiano County Assembly, it is high time that our Speaker resigns. If he doesn't resign, then today we've just given a notice of the intention to remove him. So in 7 days, if he is not going to resign, then he will be no more.
Osoi, who had earlier sponsored a motion to ouster Majority Leader Julius Moipoi last week, is alleged to have tried wooing the MCAs with a trip to Mombasa, but the 26 MCAs turned the offer down in solidarity with the governor and instead directed their guns at him. The governor is claimed to be at loggerheads with the speaker on grounds of having joined a political outfit, Tata Alliance, that intends to oppose the governor in 2022. Mombi Okoth, K24 NewsCut.
Well, what issues will be informing the decision that Kibera residents are expected to make during the upcoming by-election in November? Well, here is our reporter Dan Kariuki, who has been in Kibera constituency for the better part of the day with an update on that particular issue.
Right, the Kibera by-election is promising to be a tight race, with the popular parties going on with their business of unveiling candidates. We have seen Jubilee nominate McDonald Mariga, we've seen ANC with Eliud Owalo, and yesterday the Ford Kenya unveiled Hamisi Butichi. And ODM is expected to have their nominations this weekend. However, focus remains on the ODM party since they are seeking to retain this seat of the Kibera constituency. Now today, I've spent the better part of the day with the residents here in Kibera. They've been telling me some of the issues that they want addressed and the kind of leaders that they are looking forward to elect. And of course, they have given out their wish and what they expect from these leaders. Let's just listen in to some of these interviews with the Kibera residents.
Okay, matarajio yenye tunatarajia kwa kiongozi mwenye anakuja kwa kiti iliyekuwa ya marehemu Kenokoth, tunatarajia mbunge mwenye atakuwa anajali maslaha ya wamama. Wamama kama sisi wenye biashara ndogo ndogo, tungehitaji akikuja atuangalie sana, aweze kutupatia soft loan, mkopo hiyo kidogo kidogo yenye tunakopa tunaingiza kwa biashara, tunafanyia biashara alafu tunarudisha.
Tunataka uchaguzi iwe wa huru na haki. Ule wananchi watachagua awaongoze kwa muhula ile imebaki ni sawa. Yeah.
Uchaguzi imekuja ndio. Na sisi kama wakazi wa Kibera, sisi ndio tunajua shida zetu. Sasa uchaguzi huu ndio tunatarajia tutachagua kiongozi mwenye atafanya nini, atabadilisha sisi mayouth.
Well, issues to do with the parties has also taken a center stage here with the Kibera residents, saying that they are not going to be electing a party this time round. They'll be electing someone whom they feel will advocate for their rights, and a person who is going to listen to their cry.
Tunajua wale tumekuwa tukishikana nao hata kabla kiongozi Kenokoth afariki. Kuna wale tulikuwa nao katika ile election nyingine. Kwa hivyo tunajua zile kazi wamefanya. Mtu hawezi akatoka mbali akuja hapa kwetu nyumbani atuambie mimi nimekaa hapa Kibera na mimi sijawahi muona.
Je, baba akisema ni right tutaenda right ama itakuwa namna gani? Right, tunaenda left. Tunaenda kwa Msalia. Tunaenda kwa Msalia. Si ametupia Msalia sana. Sasa pia Msalia ajivunie matokeo yake Kibera.
na baba ametuhakikishia kwamba kura itafanywa kwa njia ya haki ili tuweze kupata mgombea wa ODM ambaye atakuwa very strong, ataenda kupambana na wale ambao watajitokeza, sababu hii kiti ilikuwa ni kiti cha ODM, na sisi kama wana ODM tutafanya juu chini tuone kama tuna retain our numbers in parliament.
ODM has been having meetings with the party leadership as well as the National Election Board to ensure that they have strategized in the right manner so that they can retain this seat. We'll keep following up on this Kibera by-election intrigues, and we'll keep our viewers updated in our subsequent bulletins. But from me, Daniel Karaoke, I take you back to studio.
Well, those are the top stories as of now. Thank you so much for watching NewsCut this afternoon. My name is